and today's Conan story by Robert E. Howard is unfortunately Red Nails. This is the last story of Robert E. Howard's, I believe, that he wrote, but before he took his own life. And this story is really interesting. It's a late era Conan story, obviously. But interestingly enough, this story aesthetically shares a lot in common with the early and the middling timeline Conan stories, where you've got the ancient cities, you've got the lost civilizations, you've got the damsels that Conan interacts with. But in this one, Howard writes a more character-driven novella than in maybe any of the other stories, with Valeria being probably the most famous of Conan's female companions. And this one almost becomes a character-driven story, with Valeria being just as much of a main character as Conan is. And so he draws out the development between these two characters, how they change each other, how their lives and how their actions impact each other over the course of the story. And people have noted that Red Nails, it's interesting, it being his last Conan story, is also one of the darkest ones. One of the ones where he goes into exploring some of the sexual violence in the world in a more in-your-face way than in some of the other stories. It's one of the darker and more violent stories, but it is good. It's not a top 5 story for me, but there's a lot of good things in this short story, and obviously, as you can see in this final illustration, a certain dark melancholy to it as well. So I've yet to read The Hour of the Dragon, as of the time of recording this, the Conan novel, but we'll be getting to that next here, and that'll be completing our journey through the works of Conan by Robert E. Howard. So thank you all for watching this journey. I know some of my thoughts get pretty repetitive, but I guess so do some of the stories. But I appreciate all of you who have joined me along on this journey. This has probably become one of my favorite fantasy series, to be perfectly honest. I know a lot of people think that it's dated. I know it doesn't work for some people. Howard's writing is not... it's very different from a lot of modern day fantasy writers, but I've loved so many of these stories through and through, and I appreciate you guys having watched these and hope you check them out and like them just as much as I do. So thanks, guys. Peace.